Good morning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Good morning and welcome to Activated Mornings right here on WFM 99.9. It's 8:03, going to take you up until 9:45 thereabout with some commentary with Dr. Gerald Thompson and yours truly, Crystal. Now, Dr. Thompson is joining us virtually today. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning. I hope my mute is off. You're hearing me nice
Yes,
and clear,
yes, we
Crystal?
are. We are loud and crystal clear. How are
The
you
air
this
is
morning?
light here in Florida. I
You're saying
must admit.
it's not light in St. Vincent?
I
Or
tell
it's
you
supposed to
something.
be heavy in Florida.
I tell you something. The air in Saving is lighter, you
Lighter.
know? So let me start off by wishing everybody a happy Monday morning. But certainly, I got to say to you, all the mothers of the nation, all the mothers in the listening public, all the mothers around the world, you know, real belated happy Mother's Day. I'm sure you were pampered, you were treated so nicely, not necessarily by your child, because I think your child is too young to really give you a Mother's Day. But I
Says
am
who?
sure that, eh?
Says who? Give me a little hug up and thing. And
Yes, yes,
as
yes, yes, yes,
usual, I
yes,
am
yes. But I think it's you had to initiate that. You had to initiate the hug up and all that kind of
no,
thing, no?
I'm the official horse. So, you
Okay.
just jump on me and just on the official trampoline. So I count
Yes.
that as,
Well, I tell you
love.
something.
I'm
Mothers,
pampering.
mothers are the most important thing in the world. What they go through, what they have to endure, and so gosh, we gotta love them back. Really love them back.
Yes, definitely. And let me extend again heartfelt Mother's Day greetings to each and every
Yeah.
single mother, those who have lost, those who have single or multiple children, those who are single mothers. The list can go on and on. All right. Expecting first time, second, third time, how many ever. Happy Mother's Day
Yes.
belated to you.
Mm.
I heard a bird in the background there. Did I hear right?
I yes, I sorry about that. I didn't want to be
No
inside.
problem.
You can see some sun. You see some sun hitting on my face and so forth.
He
Same
dropped himself.
Vincentian sun. But yesterday, I mean, I would say that day before yesterday, I was in near Orlando. The Central Florida Vincentian Association had their family outing. Nice event. I got there a little late, but really and truly lovely. The ambassador came down from New York. The usual persons, Gans, Byron, and Super Eyes were there. But I ran into so many really nice Vincentian people, and I love these events. Whether it's in New York, which has become the biggest one now, Canada, which has been there for a long time, and the UK, London. Just last week or so, the folks in England came down. There have been events celebrating the Garifuna and all that. So I really love the fact that the Vincentian diaspora is linking together. And whether it's before Carnival or after Carnival, really it brings that whole melting pot that in any part of the world there is something where you could celebrate not just on one day, but in so many different ways. Being a Vincentian national, and I was really pleased to be there. Nice event. I'm glad that they brought this off.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. The diaspora really strong. They come together in times of need and of course in times of celebration too. So that's good that you had a good time over there.
Yes, yes.
Is that the only one or you have like more are there more events coming
Well,
up?
no, other things are just very private. But
Oh, I mean.
I think you know my the real events are happening back in St. Vincent, no doubt. I have been following the news, following what's happening. I got to start off my friend and brother, Gad Saunders, former general manager of CWSA, passing. I grew up really with Garth. He was a year behind, and so forth. I knew of his illness. I didn't expect this so soon, you know. but it's really, really, really saddened. And then Ashley, yeah, Exodus, also grew up with Ashley, my good
Yeah.
friend, Dr. Freddie Lane, and Exodus. I used to follow Exodus. I mean, I really, truly like them, and they produce some wonderful music. He is a drummer par excellence. Worked with Vinlek. I tell you something. Two of our big utility companies losing icons: Ashley Williams from Vinlek and Gart Saunders, CWSA. Really, it's a big loss. And when you talk about death, yes, we hear about murders and so forth, but persons who die from natural things, illnesses, and so forth, I tell you something. It takes as much of the pain to comprehend and to understand these things as the murders and so forth. So, really sad day in Saint Vincent. Even though as we celebrate Mother's Day and all sorts of stuff, these are some sad times, and so with the loss that we have.
Uh, Indeed. I mean, I cannot think of a situation where, and there are some people who would say if the person was ill, then it's easier. But I can't think of a situation where it's ever easy to deal with death and the passing of people you know, friends, family, loved ones. It doesn't matter. While we are speaking about death, I didn't think that you would start off with that, but while we're speaking of that, there was a homicide yesterday, a killing yesterday morning. Completely shocked by it. Naturally, because it was Mother's Day, and from what you're hearing, the gentleman was an electrician, and he was at work. So
Yes,
a lot of questions are circulating right now. Is that was he followed? Was he tracked? A lot of questions. I looked through the comments, and for the most part, a lot of positive um, comments. I have not seen anything negative to indicate, um, to give any inclination as to what might have transpired. Nothing at all so far from what I've seen. Our condolences to the family of that gentleman. Speaking of death again, understand that we have another road fatality. This time, a young man,
wow,
a
yeah,
boy, a boy, a teenager.
yes,
I read that it happened in the night. Let me see, coming from ANN, 13-year-old, he was killed after being struck by a minivan while riding his bike. That's the preliminary story right
and
now.
Crystal, as you say, these they're all the same, right? But these two types, where a pedestrian being struck or someone driving and then an accident, really and truly, both these things, but more so the pedestrian. Um, Either way, I mean, that's really, really sad. I know, we have roads where they're not that much in the way of a sidewalk, you know, and we've learned to walk in the road. But sadly, the cars, whether somebody is intoxicated, whether somebody is not studying, whether somebody is gazing, whether somebody's texting, or using some other device, you know, really that should not be happening. And I don't know really what the solution is. In other places, what they've done with where the road traffic, they've literally brought those roads to one lane, brought
Mm.
in bike lanes, and had more pedestrian things. And so I'm not sure that may always be the solution, but for certainly this is something that really has to be looked at, because this year it's been really the first time I've been hearing a lot about pedestrians being knocked down. Right? I'm not sure how big a phenomena it was in the past. If social media has brought it now to the fore, it was always happening. But I think this is something that's relatively new in terms of numbers. And I'm not saying that it's never happened before, but new in
Mhm.
terms of numbers. And I don't have an actual
It's
number,
pretty
but
frequent, I
you
find.
see, huh?
Bit too frequent, I find. And
It
I'm not
is.
sure if it's that pedestrians are not taking care while they're walking on the streets. But as you rightly said, there are some places that don't have a sidewalk. Sometimes, even if the place have a sidewalk, some people walking in the road. But is it that the pedestrians are not taking care or not paying attention to what is happening on the road, or is it that the driver's just really reckless these days? So, you see, for this particular story here, right, where I don't have all the facts, it'll be very irresponsible of me to jump to a conclusion and give a comment. But man, it hurt me this morning, man. It hurt me because this is a young boy. And then I cannot say whether or not um how I feel about it. But two questions, right? What time did it happen? What are the circumstances leading up to it? The truth, the full truth, right? Was the driver at fault? Was the pedestrian at fault? Was the driver being reckless? Was he driving on his hand? Did the pedestrian, were there reflectors on the bike? Did he have on a helmet? Was he riding in such a way that it was difficult for the driver to maneuver? Like what are the answers? I'm eager to find out the
Yeah.
answers to these questions and more.
But let me ask something. You said the first time I'm hearing this, the person was what, 13 years old or 30 years old?
Annan says 13.
13. And when you start telling me about reflectors and so forth, therefore, this would have occurred at night?
Yeah, it says last night. He was killed last night.
Yes.
That's what it
Um,
says.
this does raise a lot of issues too, in terms of a 13-year-old is a young teenager, but still, you know, being out on a bike. I mean, I tell you, I was driving the other day. I'm not going to say where it is. And all of a sudden, I was going up a hill, and all of a sudden, I saw two bikes coming down the hill, coming at me, high daylight. They were racing. You know what I mean? They were enjoying. And I must admit, I may have done that when I was young, whether it was with a bike or go kart or so. You're coming down, and that exhilaration, of that feeling, and so forth of that. Whether this 13-year-old had permission from parents and so forth to be out at night, whether it was something that an urgent matter that had to be done. You're right, it brings up issues of reflectors and so forth and things like that. And without having the full story, you may say you can't talk about, but I think you can talk about it. Either way, that young kids should not be out, in my view, at night riding bikes, especially if those bikes are not equipped, and especially too if they may not have headgear and other things like that, even on a bicycle. I'm not talking about motorbike, a bicycle. And that at the same time, uh, people have to be much, much more conscious because of the lack of sidewalks and so forth, and people are walking. Drivers must be more conscious of the pedestrian who are plying the road. So two ways, both things, I think really has to be looked at seriously.
Yeah. I mean, as a mother thinking about it, you don't want to make the mother or parents feel like really bad or hurt or guilty and cast any judgment or anything. But it's just
True.
questions that you have right now. And I mean, it's also for it to be a learning lesson for others because time and time again, when you travel on the road, Bukit Show, you're going to see
Yeah.
these teenage boys, these young boys on their bicycles. Sometimes the kind of riding that they do on the streets make you open your eye. I'm like, come on. Now is not the time for that. Now is not here is not the place for that. Furthermore, where's your helmet?
Where's your helmet? Yes. Let me take Crystal. Let me add something. When I was young, I grew up in England, and several times a year they used to do us road training. The fire people used to come, and there was a motto you had. When you reach a road, you look right, you look left, and you look right again. You look right, you look left, you look right again. I see kids running across the road going to school and so forth. I'm glad we have traffic wardens and other things like that in the Kingston area and some other areas like in Leyu and certain other places. But I find that kids are not conscious with so much more cars on the road. The kids are not also being trained. And I think that we also have to, okay, not a bike rider, but pedestrians in general, young kids, especially many are going to be unaccompanied. Their older brother, older sister, maybe a 13-year-old holding the hands of a 6-year-old going to school. That's common in St. Vincent. We have to, in some way, start to educate them how best to cross a road. And even when there's no warden there at that crossing or at that point they're going to cross, just don't run across and hope for the best. We got to look at that. We got to do that training of our kids.
Not too. And training on the adults too, because some of them like they don't know how to drive properly on the road.
Yes.
I don't know how we can train the big handback drivers, but some of them are a little bit too ridiculous on the road right now. I
I,
think
I'll take that because the term hardback, of course,
sorry.
has some gender connotations. You know what I mean? And
Does it?
I would admit it is more male than female who would be, maybe that's the case. But as you bet the hardback, and we're not making light of the issue. I think we gotta go for everybody. Hardback, softback, everybody has to get that training.
Every back.
Every
But
back.
statistically, look at the road fatalities for the year and how many of
Yeah.
them the
Would tell
driver,
tell.
right? If there's a pedestrian involved, how many of them are female? How many of
Yes.
them are female drivers? But when you have a
Yes.
conversation about who's the better driver on the road, the pull down that females get. Oh, driving like a woman, driving crampy. We ain't killing nobody though.
Driving
Fact.
safely. Thank you,
Driving
Crystal.
safely
Well,
though.
that's a nice comeback. I like that. And I think that let's not get it. I agree. We shouldn't go there. You know, I
Shouldn't,
think
shouldn't,
it's
shouldn't,
all
shouldn't.
back,
Let's just leave that.
all
All
back.
back. All backs. All right. But please, people on the street, drive carefully. You take a life, you never, it is virtually impossible to bring that person back. Take care on the roads. We have a ton load of vehicles. We get in more every Monday morning. Oh gosh, it is very simple. Just drive carefully for yourself and other. It's not you alone. Condolences to the family. That's a very heartbreaking Mother's Day to have. More ways than one. All right, 8:21. Let me say good morning to Trevor. Good morning to Etienne as well. And good morning to the folks who have joined us on the WhatsApp. If you want to join the discussion, the WhatsApp number is 457-9994. The number to call is 457-9997. All right. But I'll try to find out more information about that one there.
Please.
Whew. That hurt me this morning, boy. Mercy. All right. Some other things that happened over the weekend. Bashment. Bashment, I don't know if you want to go there before we go down. Well, it's on either side of the island. One happened on the leeward, one happened on the windward side. Now, let's talk a bit about politics
Yes, the NDP
and
rally. Yes.
the NDP rally. The NDP had what is it called? Hope rally on Saturday night. Started kind of early. It was a struggle for me to get transportation Saturday afternoon. And I was wondering why everybody passing me straight on the road. Only to notice these buses are filled with yellows. I'm like, oh, it's a bad time to be on the road, but nevertheless, a few things that we can pull out and talk about. So for the year so far, the ULP has done their celebratory rally at Harnesville on the tarmac. And over the weekend, the NDP has done theirs. So they both have a rally under their belt per se. Let's put it that way. Um, I know a lot of people will rush to compare crowds, but in comparing crowds, I'm not sure how much of a fruitful argument that can end up being. And if you want to go there to say which one is bigger, and which one is better, and which one is more vibes, and which one was more successful, and what does that really mean? When we sit and compare crowds for political rallies, what does it mean? What good does that serve?
Well, no, I agree with you. I disagree with you. But you see, you have to compare size of crowd, but that's not the only thing you compare. Yes, and you take other factors involved. You also look, your level of organization. You look at the content of the species, the message, what is coming out, whether the message is one that is simple, believable, well put over, and so forth. And you then look at the takeaways, what people are taking away in terms of it. Some people look at the artists. I'm not really so bothered. I mean, you and I had maybe having some discussion with regards the artists, if the artist signify something or the other and so forth. I'm not too sure about that. But you must be able to compare crowd, because if some entity has 10 people and some other entity has 20,000, therefore that's a market difference. The other one,
Yeah.
if one has 25,000 and the other has let's say 6, 7, 8,000, the size of the space, that you're still able to make a comparison. Some people say forget that, but then what else do you use in terms of judging and assessing the impact of what has actually taken place? Some persons would say, well, look, the style seems to be an adoption of a ULP type style. Maybe to some extent it is, but I think that's right. The other thing is,
What your pistol are referring to? The
well,
artist?
I was going to add social media. I'll go back to that in a minute. I was going to say, the addition thing is social media in terms of the people who are on listening at home. Because remember, in the older years, 10, 15 years ago, you didn't have the internet. You may not have even had, let's say 20 years ago, the opportunity, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you may never had the opportunity to listen to a public meeting on a radio, much less social media. You know what I mean? Because there was only, let's say, one government radio station, and that wasn't going to carry. So you had to travel to a political meeting or hear from somebody in the 70s, 80s, and the early 90s about what happened at a political meeting. You had to go there to actually see. So the size of the crowd has always been a factor. But now, in addition to the size physically present, therefore, the online presence and so forth, radio as well as internet. And no doubt, as I'm bringing up the content, you asked me a question there, but I'm not sure if I glossed it over as I wanted to bring up the social media
Mhm.
aspect.
Mhm. No, right. I was asking you if the ULP style you're referring to, is it the artists and the big events? So you bring in maybe somebody from overseas, or you utilize the local soca artists, raga soca artists for to put off an event style.
Yes, yes, yes. In other words, you do use local, regional, and international artists. There was a time, I think about 10, 15 years ago, there was a campaign, only use local artists while you're going out and bringing in international artists. And there was an attempt, I think in 2010, to say, 2020, 2010, 2011, not to bring in artists. But everybody now has moved on to try and bring in artists, because they do bring an additional crowd. They bring other people, even from the other party, to the event, I would say.
Mhm. Mhm.
And but the thing is that you then need content. You then need a well-crafted, well-planned message that you're going to carry forward. Not message you're going to change in the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever. That message has to be coherent so that even the people who come, who may be independent or intermediate or neutral, that they will take something away from that meeting, you know?
Okay. So it's in the hope to try to reach more people in one space. Never mind, they're probably intoxicated and ain't listening.
There's always, I'll tell you something. If you have only 2 people at the meeting and one of them is intoxicated, 50% of your crowd is intoxicated, you know? So that if you have 2,000 people and there's a group of 200 people who are intoxicated somewhere in the back behind some shed or a tent, then the majority of people are still listening. And I think that no, the majority of people are listening. And I don't know if the people who are online or listen on radio are also intoxicated too. But you know, I don't know. I haven't done the studies on these kind of things to determine that. But I suspect the majority of people, they be listening at various stages, depending on the speaker, depending on who's talking or so, you know?
All right. So if it is that either parties are able to pull supporters and voters who will vote for the opposing party, whether it's at ULP's rally or NDP's rally, then why either party boasts about the size of a crowd and have the crowd in there?
Because you can still make an assessment
Can
on
you?
the crowd. And the crowd is an
They did not
indicator.
come for the NDP or the ULP. They came for Skinny Fabulous, Nyla Blackman, or Ja Vinci.
Yes, but when you have, let's say in the case of the local artists, they have expressed their support for a political party in itself, then it goes more. I mean, a Fireman and a Skinny Fabulous. I don't know if they perform at other functions by other political parties. I'm not sure about that. You know, and you would have raised the question with a Farmer Nappy, or would anybody come to a ULP function or say, no, we support the NDP. I'm not sure the international artists go one way or the other. I mean, a Buju, I'm sure, will support the Prime Minister and another artist, and so we know how to come there.
So they're in essence influencers. So you
They
bring
are
on artists to try to get them
they're influencers in the sense that they help to draw.
Okay,
But
I get it now.
but you have to then deliver, and that's why I'm at pains to try and put over a message. You have to at the same time show that you're well organized, and the people who come to these events, they too are checking on crowd size. Do we have a bigger crowd? Is this more impressive? And some will show a stiff upper lip and say yes, we're bigger and so. But deep down, almost 95% of people know what's, and I've seen some aerial shots and so about what's going on. It's easy to compare, and I think it is a factor. It's not the only factor, but it is one of the factors, and I think that it goes a long way with some people's eyes and some people's minds, that this gives an idea of the strength and the trends to come.
Trends to come. Okay. It's 8:31. We got to take a break right now and come right back. All right. The WhatsApp number again, 4579994. The number to call, 4579997. We should be joined by Courts and Vincent Limited at this time as well. We'll be back.
The Yolo Pan Movement and the Carnival Bands Inc. presents the ultimate all-white fete, Ivory Soiree. The Congo drum in the engine. There's a vibe in the section when we jam into this Ivory Soiree on May the 28th at the Victoria Park Lawn with 8 top steel orchestras. Mass presentation, venue transformation, trendy soca, reggae and calypso music, plus top DJs, trending artists, table and bar services, smoke zone, tokens and giveaways. It's Mass meets Steel Band with plenty vibes. Admission $20. Show starts at 5 p.m. The ultimate all-white launch party, Ivory Soiree. Sunday, May 28th. Be there at Victoria Park Lawn, ready to unleash the energy in the engine room. Sponsored by National Properties and the CDC.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack Interprime Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
That's the sound of your animals. Strong, healthy, and delivering yields you love. That didn't just happen. It began with you feeding them only the best. East Caribbean Feeds. Rest assured, we only produce your feeds with premium ingredients. No hormones, no animal byproducts. Just everything your animal needs for maximum nutrition. Because your animals deserve only the best. East Caribbean Feeds for maximum nutrition.
Boy, that's where you getting crushed now. Your brakes real good, boy.
Now brakes alone good enough. My tires good too.
Tires? Where you get them tires, boy?
Out by Caribbean Tire Plus, man. They out in Addersville. Can't miss it. Look for the orange container on them. Plenty parking space and open 7 days a week all thing, man. Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Sundays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call them today. Caribbean Tire Plus, 784-432-4786 or email ctiresplus@gmail.com.
Boom! Come home to Coats Ready Cash and get ready for Carnival with a loan of $3,000 or more, and you pay nothing for 60 days, because you could be eligible for a reduced interest rate. So don't miss out. Get Carnival ready with flexible payment terms, hassle-free service, and fast approval. Now, all you need is your ID, proof of address, payslip, job letter, 2 references. Guys, it in. Apply now. Visit shopcoats.com. Come home to Coats Ready Cash. Be ready when you are. Conditions apply.
Everybody push something in the air now.
WEFM 99.9.
Hello, good morning, and welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you, Coach Ready Cash?
I'm doing well. Yes, that's us.
Welcome.
How are you this morning? And the listeners to WeFM, good morning to everybody.
Good for the time being. Thank you so much for joining us. Coach Ready Cash is on the inside. All right.
Yes, so we're talking carnival. So
Yes.
everybody is carnival. You know, people out there getting the costumes ready. They want to get the body in shape. They want to do all these things for carnival season. You know, you had a up notch.
Oh, yeah.
So what we're doing for carnival is that if you take a loan of $3,000 or more, you have up to 36 months to repay, and you have 60 days to make those repayments. So you don't have to worry about the first 30 days or the first 15 days. You don't have to worry about those payments, because we give you a 60-day deferral in order for you to make your payment on your carnival loan, right? And this promotion is applicable for persons who are participating and playing with Adrenaline Max. We have partnered with Adrenaline, and for persons who are going to jump on the road carnival Tuesday with Adrenaline, this promotion is applicable to you, as well as those persons who are out there just looking to revel and have a good time. So I have with me one of the representatives from Adrenaline. He will give further information on what they have offering. But when you come into court ready cash, you bring your 2 pieces of ID, your most recent payslip, a job letter, and a utility bill, and you apply for your cash loan with us, and you could go and jump up and have a good time with Adrenaline on the road.
Nice,
Now, in
nice.
addition to all of these lovely things that we have also partnered with Island-wide Fitness, who will also be doing fitness programs to persons who are partying with Adrenaline. So you get a discount when you go and you sign up with Island-wide Fitness just to participate with, just to be a part of Adrenaline, sorry. So you don't have to pay any registration fee. It's just a monthly charge that you'll be paying. Once you can present your receipt showing that you have already signed up with Adrenaline. So you have 4 weeks, and I think it's $60 that you will be paid to participate with Island-wide Fitness. So for those who want to go out there and show up with nice summer body, medium belly flat and thing, looking nice on the road with Adrenaline, we can get all of that done at Island-wide Fitness. Right? So I want to encourage persons to come down to Court Ready Cash, that they can get all of their needs. I mean, it's a one-stop shop. You're getting your money to pay for your costume, you're getting your costume from Adrenaline, and you're getting to go and fit up yourself in a nice yourself for Carnival on Tuesday. So I'm going to pass it over to our representative from Adrenaline, and he can give some more information on what their packages are.
Nice. Hello, good morning, Adrenaline.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I am doing well for the time, thanks.
Yes, my name is Rishon Adams. I'm the marketing CEO of Adrenaline. All I can say is I'm excited for Carnival Tuesday. Can't wait. Well, this year our packaging of our mask is very small. As you can see, we only have 3 sections, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna be vibe on vibe. We are super excited for this year's production. We are happy to partner with Coach FPG, because trust me, this year we have artists, DJs with vibe. We have last time we came, we didn't have a cool truck. This year we're gonna have a cool truck. So if you're on the road and you're tired and you wanna go in the cool truck and just vibe inside it, you can do that. We have a double-decker truck where you can be on top over everyone looking down. Trust me, this year is gonna be amazing. And I can't wait, and I know my creators can't wait either. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I know that Coach Ready Cash, they're going to do their part as well, partner with us and everything like that. So yeah, it's gonna be a real fight. It's gonna be a real fight. We're excited.
Nice. Looking forward to that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So in terms
All right,
of, so if you're interested in getting on board, is registration still open?
Yes, our registrations are still open. We don't have a time when we're closing off, but Carnival is like soon. So anyone who's interested in registering, you can get registered now at the Touch Building it's now Teachers Credit Union Building Complex downtown. There's also at Sunshine Legendary Boutique uptown, and you can also contact me at 495-2200, and I can get to you and get you registered. Yeah, that's all we do. You don't have to always come at the show. You can contact me, and I will come to you.
All right. And the social media handles, persons who want to look at the costumes online. If you want to look at them online, your social media.
Yes, you can follow us at Adrenaline Expo. That's our Instagram page, or Adrenaline Carnival on Facebook.
Okay, lovely.
Yes, please.
All right. Hello? Good morning.
Hi.
I was wondering if you're gonna we're gonna hop back over to Ready Cash now.
Yes. So I mean, if persons are interested in getting a little view of what the costumes look like, we have one on display at the branch of the post office. So they can come in and see what their options are. They will see what the costumes are made of, and they will be able to make a decision when they go to Adrenaline camp. You actually get to see a physical live display of costumes at the branch at Ready Cash, right?
Right.
I want to encourage persons to come in the Sports Ready Cash to get yourself prepared for the Carnival season. I mean, you cannot go wrong with coming to us, taking your loan, whether it be a micro loan, whether it be a regular cash loan or a payday loan. the payday loan is interest free. So, I mean, you cannot go wrong coming to Coach Ready Cash and getting all of your cash needs done with us. So, you can find us directly opposite the post office. It's the only blue building located opposite the post office. Or you can give us a call on 456-1325. The extensions range from 2120 all the way through to 2124. So you dial from 2120, come all the way up to 2124. Our Instagram, we also have an Instagram handle, it's Ready Cash SVG, or you can find us on Facebook at Coach Ready Cash. Right? If you need to apply online, you can go to shopcourts.com, and the Ready Cash option is there for you to process the application online. So we have everything all around at Coach Ready Cash Coach. We're looking to cover all of their financial needs for season. It's carnival, it's back to school, because by the time you bring to back to school reach, you know, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening between now and September at Coach Ready Cash. So we just want to encourage people to come down and make Coach Ready Cash their number one choice for all of their financial needs.
All right, awesome.
All right.
All right.
All right. Have a good day.
Same to you. Thanks. All the best. See you on Friday.
God bless. Yeah.
All right, take care. And that was Coach Ready Cash, who said thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Boom! Come home to Coach Ready Cash and get ready for Carnival with a loan of $3,000 or more, and you pay nothing for 60 days. Plus, you could be eligible for a reduced interest rate. So don't miss out. Get Carnival ready with flexible payment terms, hassle-free service, and faster approval. All you need is your ID, proof of address, payslip, job letter, 2 references. That's it. Apply now. Visit shopcoach.com. Come home to Coach Ready Cash. Be ready when you are. Conditions apply.
Everybody push something in the air now.
Nothing else sounds as good as
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
All right. Hello. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back to Activated Mornings right here on WFM 99.9. Touched on a few things that happened over the weekend. Sadly, we started out with death in different forms, unexpected, from illness and homicide and road fatality. Now, there are a few comments here, right? I don't know if you want, but we were talking about politics. Let me throw these out and then move on. All right. Good morning. Drivers in Vinci drive reckless with no regards to anyone. My son and his uncle got knocked off their bikes Friday. Driver took off his headlights while passing another vehicle and hit them. My son and uncle in the hospital with a broken leg. What? I'm trying to understand why you take off your lights while passing another vehicle. The purpose of the lights in the nighttime is for you to see. And I don't know what this is, but it looks like a photograph. Oh, Lord. I'm really sorry to hear that. Here's another one. When I was in prep school, a policeman was sent to the school regularly, and we were taught to look left and right and left again before we cross the road. Maybe we need to get that going again.
Well, Crystal, that's what I said earlier. And to an extent, I think the younger kids, I mean, I see it every day that there's school open even when they're not school. You know, in certain countries, you cannot send a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old to the shop to buy a pound of sugar and get a box of matches. That would be considered as being child abuse, because it would not be considered that a child could walk the streets on their own. In St. Vincent, our kids seem to be expected to be that much more street smart and so forth. But I am not sure if currently that sort of, half an hour training in the school every term is actually being done. And I think that we do need the police stations in the given area to start that program, speaking to primary schools and doing simulations of these type of accidents so that the kids could have a better understanding of what could go wrong. You know, I think it's helpful. Even though, and let me say this, even though a car is reckless, the safety position that the child has put themselves in could help to avert an accident from a reckless driver as well.
Right, okay. Valid point. Let me not say that. Let me not say what I witnessed last week. All right, let me leave that alone. All right, so let's go back to comparing crowds and parties and
I tell you something. I bring it home that it's content and it's the whole crowd. It's not the physical crowd, which was definitely smaller in Georgetown than was on a tarmac. Absolutely, everybody knows that. You could see that the visual.
How do you know that?
Aerial shots, everything like that. Estimates. I mean, listen, it's a no-brainer. We all have eyes in our heads and can see and can observe an enclosure that has blocks to it and another area. And whether how spacey it was and so forth, all those kind of factors.
Okay.
Now, and people are going to want to say, oh, there was a crowd outside as well. Come on. You know what I mean? It goes right back to what you were saying. People may be out there getting drunk or not listening at all, but there's enough noise.
Yeah.
But I want to get down to content.
Let me just throw in here, right? Permit me to just throw in here. People will say, well, you take out the picture them early, so the shots you took were early pictures. As composed. That's before the venue get unpacked. They might say that too.
No, these shots were done well into the evening. We just before midnight. You want to take the shot at 2:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning when some people gone, and people say, "Oh, you take the shot when people gone." There's obviously a peak, and there's obviously a thing, and there's no doubt that some people won't even turn up for the speeches. They will just come for the show.
The bashment, that's right.
They'll come for the show. So basically, you want to get a picture of the listening public at its peak. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get a picture necessarily of when the artists have come out at the listening public when it's peak, and that could be compared, and multiple aerial shots with drones and so forth do that today.
Okay. Hold a second there. Call is coming through. Hello, good morning, welcome.
Yeah, good morning.
You're a little low this morning, Dave.
Like that. Hello?
You're a little low, but go ahead.
Oh, come because I realized something like it is function right. Anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, top of the morning to you. Hope you had a good. I don't know if I wish you a happy Mother's Day and all that stuff, but I hear the excitement coming there. I didn't hear the question raised, but I suspect what it is about crowd. Boy, I wish every other Vincenter was like me, so that when they have elections and results come out, you shock up some of these people, especially those people who have to talk about crowd, how much thousands they have and so on. I wish today when I could see a political party bring out 3/4 of the population in Silverton and Grenadines. Only general follow. I'll say, well, I don't know, this might be a miracle or something. But all this argument, I don't know, it's counterproductive as far as I'm concerned. But not for the politician, because the politician they have a Vincentian mentality, or they instill a Vincentian mentality about crowd. Listen how they talk about crowd and so on. My thing is, my ex is my weapon of destruction, if you want to put it that way. When I go and I mark my ex, and I mark it for a particular party, I look forward to see that particular party win. And then, no arguments, one love. But no, not in this day and age. Politics has really brought us into a sad situation. Thank you. Have a good morning.
Same to you, thanks. You want to respond? Doc, where you go? Doc disappeared on me this morning. What is this? Now, this morning, did not say this, but he's joining us virtually. So, in a moment like this, where he kind of, I'm not sure what happened, but yes. Is it a good argument to have to compare crowd size? What is the meaning behind it? And if half of a crowd belongs to the opposing party, then why then does that party go so far as bragging about the size of a crowd if half the people that are there didn't come for you? They came for the entertainment. And then they're going back home. Are they going to vote for you during the elections? One. And two, are they even going to vote come the next general elections? Good morning. There's an advert on the radio. This is going back to driving. Let me see. Doc, when you come back, you're supposed to say, I'm back, I'm back.
Well, I tell you something, I am back. Sorry, I'm not sure what happened there.
Back, like,
Now, I didn't want it to be said that because Dave was on, I deliberately dropped out. And I didn't quite hear what he was saying.
How come in here? Anyways, you know what?
Obviously, I went off. I started hearing the beginning, and I know Dave will call back and say, I disrespected him and so forth by cutting out.
Now not. Maybe not this morning. Maybe this morning he'll prove you wrong.
Okay, all right. So I don't know what was being said, but now let me say, and I don't want to take it, but content. I was focusing on content. I tell you something. I am from an area called North Leeward, and we had in 2013 damages to the Fichus Bridge, the Upper Sharps Bridge, Top Sharps Bridge. We had damage to several other bridges at Plan, a place in the heart of Chateaubelair. There was other areas, and then a year later, the Sharps Bridge on the main road got damaged, and the Cumberland Bridge was known to be damaged. Let me say that Bailey bridges were used to rapidly and quickly, efficiently replace Fichus, Top Sharps, and Plan. Done very, very well. And you had permanent bridges done in a number of, like Cumberland. But a lot of Bailey bridges were put in. And Bailey bridges is a Cumberland Bridge had a Bailey bridge there for almost 40 years. Mm-hmm. So somebody who comes and says, okay, you've built 2 bridges in North Windward, that's nothing. They should be permanent bridges. That meant that the length of time it would take to rebuild those bridges, the engineering and all things like that, obviously would be much more prolonged, and the cost would be much greater. It doesn't mean you ain't going to build permanent bridges in the future, but you are solving the problem of traffic. And those 2 bridges, significantly impacted on the transport in Northwind, as the Rabaka Bridge did. And it bothers me that anytime there is some major infrastructure, whether it's the Rabaka Bridge, the Argyle International Airport, or the port, there is just this major thing about we wish water would come and wash away the Rabaka Bridge. We wish a tsunami would come and wash away the airport. We're going to do everything we can to stop the port. Why?
Well, stick up in there. Call is coming through again. Hello, good morning.
Good morning again.
All right, morning. Welcome back.
Good morning. You see, a politician don't even know how to respond to certain matters, issues of the day. So I don't expect, and don't make him tricky. He would have heard what I had to say. Don't fool yourself. Really kind of person is. After all, he's the brightest person that the Prime Minister said he had in cabinet at one time. And I think he's still held in that regard. So he has to carry on and rant and rave and all of that. But, as a human being and as a doctor, Well, when it's a doctor, I think he's more politician than a doctor. But, no love lost. I still am friendly. He has disrespected me here talking about because I asked him to, I called him and he never responded. So that's the attitude of a politician, when they feel that you're opposing to their belief and all of that. But the question is, I have to ask this question. Dr. Thompson, how much longer do you think, and I want the whole world to hear this, that the Unity Labour Party regime, government, however they want to look at, how much longer do you think they have in office? Say something, let we know that we're gone through. Say how much longer you think ULP is going to win the election in the Grenadines?
Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you very much.
Don't run. Don't run. Hear it. Don't just hear it online. Christal, I suppose credit and so forth, who sometimes goes. But
so you want him to hang up or not?
Well, listen, I want to tell him so he could hear.
He hung up already, so carry on.
He's gone. First of all, I predicted that Dave would have called back and say that I deliberately avoided his question and so forth. I knew that. And that I, as an individual, should not have technical problems. That his question would have scared me. It would have frightened me that I had to avoid his question. Come on, Dave. That's not true. Christian, you believe that? Christian, I faked a technical problem. That I didn't really go off. I just hid from the screen of his question. You were still away from that.
Leave me at Jesus' feet.
You were still away from that. But here's the answer. Let me go straight to that. Of course I do, Dave. I basically do think and believe that the ULP is going to have a sixth term. You see, it's about seats, it's about numbers, it's about locations and so forth. And there is no evidence. You see, 3 votes came up from Beckway, yes, for that political meeting. Is the ULP likely to win the Northern Grenadines seat? I don't think so. But in terms of the seats that it has, are they likely to retain the majority of those seats? I believe so. And they may well pick up a couple of additional seats. So it is something that Dave himself should ponder, because Dave used to be a journalist who went to all these meetings himself. He used to go around the country, stand up in the makeshift parliaments outside the bank or outside of where Kentucky was down the road and so forth. And it surprises me that he, who used to express his own views, isn't really is trying to not really read the tea leaves very carefully. There is no doubt in my mind, and there's a lot of time left for that to be proven, but I think that the Unity Labour Party is in for a sixth term.
All right. So 9:01, we got to take a break. We got to bring you the ECCB bank rates for today. And of course, that's brought to you compliments the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We'll be back.
Brick by brick, piece by piece, building with technology, help